Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about excluding the YouTube TV ad placements from your YouTube ad campaigns that you run through your Google Ads account. The reason why this is important is because your YouTube ads that you're trying to run that are going to show up on TV sets aren't very high converting. For the most part, 90% of what you spend on those TV placements, as I found, spending tons and tons of money on YouTube ads for many different clients and many different industries already, because we're running a big PPC ad agency here, I can tell you for a fact already that it's not producing very well. And so where this helps you out, overall, is if you're running any kind of YouTube ads right now, you can make your ad performance significantly better simply by going into your account and just eliminating the TV placements. Even though Google says you can't really guarantee to eliminate those placements, you basically can with a negative bid adjustment on the TV placements. And for the most of you guys, that's what I would suggest to do. If you're an advanced level marketer, like we are, and we're doing for our clients, which I'm not just talking ourselves up here because I'm full of myself here, you can get more. There actually is some value still in the TV placements, but you got to know what you're doing if you're going to do it. If you're just going to wing your advertising approach with your Google ads and YouTube ads, you could just eliminate it. And for the most part, you'll get a gain in your ROI and you'll make more money that way. If you want to make the most money, you'll have to listen to the instructions that I'm going to give you and that we follow when executing this for our clients to get the most out of the placements, so that we run the placements, but run them profitably. So that said, I'll get right into the content. So after running a few $1 million in YouTube ads now, I've had plenty of time to see how well the TV/YouTube placements on TV are doing. I can tell you that they just, don't work basically. On average, TV placements do about 90% worse ROI on average than tablet, desktop, mobile. As they're hard, which there's nothing published out there, but I can just tell you from being a savvy marketer and doing this for the last 20 years, marketing for stuff that we run and run for clients. If you're on a TV set, it's actually going to take more activation energy to get somebody that is sitting on their couch. Half the time they're comfortable, their ass is welded to the couch basically, to get up, pick up the remote control, and go, even if the advertising that they see on their TV set is good while they're watching YouTube on the TV set or watching YouTube TV, which is something that is also there, which I'm going to bring up that in a minute, to actually get that person to take action. The easiest way to advertise online is Google search ads, because that person actively wants to see your ad, right? And then on the flip side of that, you have display advertising, where you're trying to interrupt the user while they're online. And if you're on Facebook ads, for the most part, people, when they see the ad, the reason why those are effective is they're kind of in the mode of wanting to discover new content and they're open to clicking on something. If they're reading a news article and then there's a banner ad on the side of your website, you're very unlikely to want to click on that ad, because it's totally a nuisance for you at that point. And then taking this a step further, the YouTube ads that you run on TV sets, you're really not going to want to click on that, or at the very least, it's going to take more skill to have an ad show up for somebody while they're watching their TV, sitting on their couch or the recliner, to actually do something that you want them to do. Turn into a lead, buy something from you. That said, there's definitely still value in running ads on TV sets. I mean, if you could just put it this way, if you could run unlimited ads on TV sets for free, wouldn't you do it? Yes, hell yes, you would do it. Now the question is, what is the value of running the ads on the TV sets to your business? There's a price in which it becomes affordable to pay versus not pay. And this is, by the way, the philosophy you should take as an internet marketer or marketer of your business online. You think agnostically and unemotionally about every decision you're going to make about your advertising. What is the return? Ultimately, different traffic sources have different values. Some convert a lot, some convert a little, some convert not at all. For the most part, everything will convert. It's just a matter of how much. What do you have to pay? How many times does your ad have to show up before you get a conversion? And then what's that cost? So with that, you should evaluate what the value of it is to you. But there's a secondary value other than having an ad show up for you as a user on your TV set while you're watching another YouTube video or whatnot, to you, the advertiser, and to your business, which is, and which this is the bit, tons of people miss this. Just like you're running banner ads online, people think the only value in running an ad online is if somebody sees the ad, clicks on the ad, buys right away, or buys fairly quickly into where they can track, they saw the ad, they clicked on it, they bought. And I've got to tell you that if you limit yourself to that as an advertiser, you're only going to grow so much as a company, because there's a ton of value in getting in front of the buyer that you would want to buy, that would buy, influencing that buyer because they saw the ad, and then now they become way statistically more likely to buy from you than they did before they saw that ad. And with that, it's very hard to track the value of that, at least when you're just looking at the conversion tracking inside your ad account. So people just see no value in it because they don't think deeply enough about this, and they miss out on those opportunities. A good common example of this is remarketing. A lot of people think remarketing, the reason why most people don't do it, specifically within Google Ads and using the Google Display Network, is because they don't see a conversion. They don't, they expect somebody, as they're reading a news article on CNN.com that sees the remarketing ad, is going to say, oh, damn, that's a really cool jersey. I'm going to stop reading this article. I'm going to buy it right now. The reality is the activation energy it takes for that person to stop reading the article and buy is very, very high. They're just not in the mood to go to your site, whip out their credit card, spend 20 minutes checking out, even if it's a cool jersey. Doesn't mean they didn't think it was cool. It just means they don't want to buy it right then. So the idea is to get your ads in front of the right people, influence them, and then with that, you should automatically see more sales come down the line, and your top line revenue should come up. But in the case of remarketing, going back to that, the idea is you spend all this time and money and effort to get qualified traffic to your site, and if you do no follow-up with them, you're throwing half of the money that you could get from those customers completely into the garbage can without any follow-up. But the follow-up, you're not going to be able to just, most of the time anyway, get somebody to see your ad and immediately want to take action. For most businesses, you're not going to get that lucky, and that's not the way that it's going to work. So you have these other ads that follow up the user after they've been to your site, saying, showing them your reviews, your rewards, your differentiation points to educate that user on, finish convincing them why they should buy if they're not fully convinced yet. And when the day comes, they're ready to buy, you basically already have drilled in their head exactly that who you are, why you're different, why you're the best, and they'll think of you first and then therefore buy from you more so than if you didn't do that follow-up with the user after they've been to your site the first time. Okay? So you're not going to see somebody click on the ad and buy, but when you run the remarketing, what you'll see is your sales will be twice as much than what they would have been otherwise from that traffic that you're driving to your site in any given time when you have those remarketing ads going on the back end. So you got to look at in other words, your top line revenue to notice the value of the remarketing. They call that conversion lift in the marketing space, i.e. where somebody could see an ad. What's the effect if we have our market see this ad and then later on buy? What statistical amount does it increase the likelihood of that user that we want to buy? And so ultimately, you measure that simply by looking at how much your overall sales revenue goes up when you start a new advertising activity. Or one way to do this more tangibly is, like for instance with the remarketing example that I gave you, if you didn't think that worked and you wanted to argue with me and you were my client, I would just simply say, okay, let's shut off the remarketing ads for 1/2 of the country, assuming you're advertising nationwide for nationwide customers. Let's shut off everything west of the Mississippi. Let's shut all the remarketing advertising off. And let's see, at the end of the next 90 days, because you would need a respectable amount of time to see this, let's see how much your sales dropped off for the East Coast, or should I say the West Coast in that example that I gave, how much your sales dropped in comparison to the East Coast after 90 days. And then right there, you can see what the so-called conversion lift is of having your ad seen by somebody that you know that you want to buy and influence in the fact that eventually when they go to make the decision to buy, you end up being the default decision that they go and company you go with. Given most people don't buy when they first investigate you, and they buy on their own timeline, their own time schedule. You just want to make sure that you're the one a majority of the time when that person decides they can't delay their purchase anymore, or they don't want to delay their purchase anymore, and then they're ready to buy. So why do I say all this? This all applies to YouTube TV advertising. So, or in other words, running your YouTube ads on TV placements or on TV sets while they're ultimately seeing an ad while they're on their TV itself. Given that you're very rarely going to see somebody, even if you have a great ad with a great call to action that drives them to your website, very, very rarely are they going to see that ad while they're watching TV and sitting on their couch to go through and buy. It's just not going to happen for the reasons that I already just mentioned on this video. But the value is still there if you have somebody that you know. Particularly a good example would be, you could, with custom intent audiences on YouTube, you could target somebody who's been to your competitor's site in the recent 30 days or recent past. So, and with your YouTube ad. So while everybody who's been on your competitor's site in the last 30 days, you can have your video ad show up on TV sets for that crowd, knowing that person's likely going to be buying from somebody in the next 90 days. The question is whether it's going to be you or the competitor. You want to influence that person so that you end up being, increase the likelihood it's going to be you that they buy from, not the original competitor that they were looking at. And therefore, you're going to be able to make money from them seeing that ad while they're on the TV, watching TV, and making an ROI from that ad that they've seen on your TV, on their TV, simply by have influenced that buyer so that later on their purchase more likely is with you versus that competitor. So that would be an example of how the TV placements do have still value, even though if what you're going to do is look at TV versus desktop versus mobile clicks versus tablet clicks, you're almost every time, if you want to make it simple, every time you're going to see the TV clicks have almost no conversions, or basically 90% less converting than desktop by default. Okay, so now you know what you're going to kind of get with it in general. Ultimately, what you're going to do if you have some cash in your pocket is you're going to run the TV ads and you're going to see how well they perform, and then you're going to do add a bid adjustment for the TV placement. So if you find out that TV placements convert 90% worse than the desktop placements do for your YouTube ads, you're simply going to put a 90% negative bid adjustment on the TV clicks so that you're extracting the value that's there on the TV clicks and paying what they're worth, not overpaying, but paying what they're worth to get a few extra sales that you wouldn't normally have gotten if you didn't, you wouldn't have gotten if you just flat out turned them off. Because the other option, obviously, you have, if you want to be crude about it, is you just shut off the TV placements for your YouTube campaigns right away and get rid of a lot of waste, and you will get an increase in ROI, but you'll make even more money. Instead of just shutting it off, you run it for a while, figure out what the TV placements are converting at, apply a appropriate bid adjustment to the TV placements using something called a bid adjustment formula that you can Google and find that out, and put the right bid adjustment there so that you don't overpay for those YouTube TV ad placements, and so that you get some extra sales from the TV ad placements in addition to what you're getting through the other desktop, mobile, tablet placements as well. So if you're starting out and you don't have a lot of startup cash and you need to be able to, quickly get to break even so that you don't run out of money, so to say, then you just shut off the TV placements right away. I mean, that's the simple thing. If you've got some money and you're trying to grow your company, scale your ads, all that, then you try to turn on your TV placements. Again, figure out statistically, mathematically, how they convert, what they convert at, what ROI they convert at, or what the cost per lead is on TV placements. Add a bid adjustment for TV placements, and greatly cut back on what you're willing to pay for a click, or should I say a video view, and get a few extra sales to the TV placements itself. So that's pretty much what your two options are. You can either eliminate it or add a bid adjustment. In either case, to not do, either one, you're leaving a lot of profit on the table, because it's not to be treated like the other placements that you'll have your video ad shown on, for the reasons I mentioned. So ultimately, the video ads that end up on users' TV sets that you want to sell to, there's actually two different reasons why your video ads will show up on the TV sets for your users. One of which is something called YouTube TV. You can Google this. It's basically a subscription service where you can actually get TV shows that you're streamed to your device through YouTube. And with that, if you have the TV placements turned on and you don't have any restrictions on the bid adjustment, like you didn't apply a negative 100% bid adjustment on TV, then your ads will very likely show up on TV shows while people are watching TV shows that are subscribed to YouTube TV. The other way that you're going to show up on TVs is with ads overlaid on YouTube itself while people are on a smart TV. So in other words, if you got a smart TV and therefore you can get on YouTube on that smart TV, while you watch the YouTube ads, as you watch the YouTube videos as usual on that YouTube app via the smart TV, you'll see the ads like you normally see if you were watching on YouTube on a desktop device, right? So it's just, they're watching YouTube on their TV, simply put, and then the ads are going to be there. So both of these, if you have TV placements still turned on and activated via your YouTube campaigns, you'll technically show up on both of these most of the time, or should actually show up on both of these. So anyway, with all that said, that's how you're going to show up. Try to not think about it so obtusely. Understand the value, at least for very, very high value placements or customers that you want to get in front of, that you should still run the TV ads, particularly for anybody who's been to your site before, i.e. remarketing, people who have been to your competitor sites. I would still want to run those ads and get in front of those people, just making sure to adjust the bid on the TV placements itself, because there's only so much you can get from remarketing and competitor audiences, and it's very profitable in general. Why not get the most value you can out of it with also adding in TV placements? So you'll get more exposure from those people you want to get exposure, the maximum exposure from. As you get into other stuff like general demographics, targeting and stuff like that, you may not do TV placements. You certainly could, and then figure out what the traffic's worth. If your campaign's converting, you could also bring in TV placements. But generally speaking, if I'm going to try something that's totally speculative in terms of a YouTube campaign that's not targeting competitors, not targeting remarketing traffic, I'll start out without the TV placements and add them in later once the campaign's already working well. So anyway, just some basic tips about YouTube ads and these TV placements itself, what to do with it, how to be able to make yourself some more money. That said, if you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing to this channel, as I have a ton of other content on this channel that'll show you definitively how to make a ton of money with online advertising, Google ads, Facebook ads, and so forth, as I run a PPC agency here with about 40 different clients that I do all the strategy on. In that, I'll tell you exactly what's working today, as well as what's not working and what to stay away from, so you don't have to be able to learn all these hard lessons for yourself. And so I give you all the strategies that work on a silver platter. All you got to do is be willing to use them. It's the best information that you're going to find on YouTube as far as I'm concerned on how to make money with PPC ads, as it's actual tangible advice I'm giving you on how to make money like I did on this video. All the rest of my content's the same. If you like this particular channel, you'll also love my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you'll find writing by myself. If you have any questions about anything I covered today, or any questions about PPC in general even, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. As a final note, I want to bring up a brand new program that we have at our PPC agency, where we're offering turnkey PPC campaign templates, and that if we've gotten results in a market already and you want to get into that market, instead of hiring us for full-on PPC management, if you want to manage your own campaigns, you can have the ad templates, landing page templates, and stuff that work for that market. And we've worked in hundreds of markets now over the last 8 years. So chances are we've got results in your market already, and you don't have to do half this work yourself. You can just use the tried and true and tested version of what we have for that market already, and know what the results you can get going in. Greatly speed up the process of getting results in your market. You could also, if you wanted to start another business, you could take one of our proven campaign templates that work in a market, start it up in your geographic market, which if we work in, basically, if we're working with a client in one city and they're not going to work in your city, and you want to operate those campaigns, those same campaigns in your city, you could throw them up, get results in just a few months' time already, outsource all the work like we've done with other people before, and have a passive income business pretty much, because they'll have somebody else doing the work or fulfillment. And that's the type of opportunity you have when you have access to a PPC campaign that's just going to crush the competition right away, because we've already spent years, a top tier PPC agency already spent years optimizing a campaign for that market, and you're just using whatever works already in terms of the campaigns, landing pages, and so forth. So anyway, if you're interested in that type of thing, want to know if we got results in your market or whatever, reach out to us. We'll let you know what we have. Beyond that, I'll let you go with that, and hopefully you show up for the next video where we have another great strategy for you there as well. See you later.